taken beautifully.
Tino's wonderful. He's come on.
Florence using possession of that man. Oh, and so finished a beautiful offload.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 24th edition of the St. John's Rugby Festival. What a fantastic day of rugby we've had today, and the difference between earlier and today is we've got a few evening games, which adds an unbelievable dynamic to this festival. Today, at this very moment, we've got Helpmekaar College against Stellenberg High School. My name's Manny Sakhale, and with me in the combox, I've got Bryce Force. Bryce, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks to yourself, Manny. Look, one thing about this game that's really exciting is it's a clash of the rising stars of the regions. You've got Helpmekaar, who's been seen as one of the teams to beat in this festival. They've had wins so far this year over Bull and Landbo, for Checker Bethlehem, Waterkloof. Perhaps the highlights of the year so far has been a draw with Paul Boys. But they took a heavy defeat at the hands of Affies, who Stellenberg narrowly lost to. So it'll be interesting to see where the teams stand at this stage of the season. They can't talk about early season nerves or getting combinations right. Now's the time for them to shine.
Well, as we look at the Helpmekaar team sheet there, we'll be looking at a few players. The theme of the whole day today has been some of the fly halves, the creators of plays, the people who keep their teams together. Tiaan Boertes will be looking to make sure that this Helpmekaar side runs like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Tiaan Boertes, Sebastian Watney, and Mulbert van der Spey, all players on the Saru radar. They've guys that have come through the Grand Como week. There's a lot of youth in this Helpmekaar team, a lot of players who were under 16 last year, so relatively young, but a lot of provincial experience amongst the team.
No, 100%. As we have a look at the Stellenberg High School team sheet here, we see the captain at number 6, Van der Westhuizen. He'll be looking to play a pivotal role here as he leads his side, like you were saying, Bryce, to this fantastic season that they've had. Can they be stopped by the team from Johannesburg today?
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. And keep an eye out for the fly half there, Nevan Peterson. He's someone who played Craven Week last year. In fact, he captained the Western Province 15 team. So a player that's got a lot of experience. And again, there's this Helpmekaar team, as we've said, it's a team with a lot of size about it, but it's they're pretty consistent in terms of their conditioning across the board. So Stellenberg are going to really have to bring the physicality, but with these conditions, you're expecting a quick game.
No, definitely, a different dynamic. Not many of these teams would have played rugby under lights. You're used to your normal Saturday at about 12 o'clock in the bright in the bright sunlight, but today we've got a different dynamic to the game. How do you think these two teams are going to deal with it?
Well, look, it's something that we've seen in Super Rugby, particularly in Durban. When you see a Sharks game, you see a 3 p.m. kickoff. It's difficult for the players to get their minds around the fact that it is so difficult to handle because it's not wet and rainy conditions, so you don't naturally take that into account. But it is very different. The handling with the dew on the ball, it's a completely different scenario. Let's hope they take that into account, but we can still have a free-flowing game and many tries scored.
No, 100%, and tries is the name of the game. We've seen many of them. We've seen a lot of teams taking away from that kicking game and making sure that they play a lot of running rugby, keeping the ball in hands and executing a lot of their game plans and strategy. And that's exactly what the people here at St. John's want to see. As we see St. John's filling up a little bit of a buzz around the crowd at the moment, as we see Good Friday looming on us tomorrow. A fantastic place to be. This is a fantastic format for schoolboy rugby players, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the beginning of a long weekend. Everyone's coming from work, the end of school. You still got the main game to come with the hosts in the match after this. But as we said, the match we've got here between Helpmekaar and Stellenberg, two evenly matched teams, and you just couldn't, if you had to do a Super Bowl here, you really couldn't predict who the winners are going to be.
No, definitely, as a bit of anticipation builds up here around the ground. We're waiting for the two teams. They'll be adhering to a strict 10 minutes past 6 kickoff. You can just imagine the nerves of your first day at festival. It's a great one. You're under lights. You're coming up against what's possibly going to be one of your harder oppositions for the festival. these boys need to be ready for the occasion, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and it sets the tone for the season proper, I suppose. You're talking about well into the second term, what's traditionally seen as the rugby term. We've spoken about the pre-season games. So those are done and dusted. This is the marker that the team's laid for getting stuck in for the remainder of the season. And let's see how it goes as Helpmekaar take the field.
Well, Helpmekaar have taken the field. We see Stellenberg, the team from Bellville, making their way onto the field. The two teams will be gathering in their last real team huddle of the day before they go into battle. 15 v 15 today, as we see Helpmekaar psyching each other out. Stellenberg will be up to the task. We really are looking for a physical yet skillful game here, aren't we?
Absolutely. And look, one thing that's pretty apparent from the outset is that Helpmekaar seems to have a really sizable pack of forwards. Stellenberg possibly not so much, but again, it's almost a regional type of mindset in that the schools from the Western Cape, like to keep the ball in hand and not necessarily always the biggest boys around, but they'll be running it from all quarters, you'd suspect. And when you just look at the size of the Helpmekaar players, particularly if the back row, if I look at someone like Tyler Scudder, who was really impressive at the North State Festival a few weeks ago. But again, fresh start here, two teams that impressed at that festival, but it's 0-0 as we kick off here, all to play for.
Well, a lot of anticipation as we see referee Magagula there is one of the senior refs doing his third St. John's Easter Festival. High ball goes up, and here we have it. Stellenberg under the ball. They'll be looking to gain a little bit of momentum, but some tight defense from Helpmekaar College. As we see a little box kick there from Stellenberg's number 9, Conradi.
Yeah, throw in here to Helpmekaar, but a good result there in terms of an exit from Stellenberg. Good box kick from Conradi, and a very good chase here by Stellenberg's number 14, Msengana.
We see a nice deep line out here. We see quick ball making its way out to Helpmekaar's number 4 in the captain, Marks. Good recycle ball. Quick ball will be the order of the day as we see the big Helpmekaar heavies bashing it up, looking to gain advantage every single time they run. And a little unforced error there. Stellenberg will look to make Helpmekaar pay, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, Helpmekaar getting the ball out quickly there. A bit of a rapid pass coming from Tian Boertes. It was well taken in the midfield, and you expected them to launch from there. They've got a really exciting midfield combination, Esterhuizen and Van der Spey, but just guilty perhaps of lifting his head, looking at the opposition defensive line coming up on him, and not necessarily a chance lost, but a good attacking position here for Stellenberg. First scrum of the game. Let's see who can gain the ascendancy.
No, definitely, and I've always said the team that makes the least mistakes and sticks to their guns and does the basics as well as possible. Yeah, as Stellenberg gets a free kick. And a little unforced error there. Referee Magagula will take it back to where the kick, the line that the kick was made from. An interesting game that they're looking to get in behind the Helpmekaar nice and quickly and play rugby in the Helpmekaar 22.
Yeah, Peterson will be disappointed by that. It's a real chance to push Helpmekaar into their own territory. It's obviously where you want to set the tone of the game, where you want to play. It's all about the right areas. And led off there for Helpmekaar. They've got the throw in, and it's a good take at the back.
A good take as we see the rolling maul here. It will be the number 9, Kirkham. He'll be commanding the forwards to get some ground here, making a decision as to where they should get it to his captain, Boertes or not. We see a break there from the number 5, Selbert. Slubbert with a good break as Helpmekaar make it into the Stellenberg 22. Really good driving more here as we see good distribution ball making its way all the way to the right, and what may seem like an interesting tackle here. It will be interesting to see what the referee does. Just a stern warning for now.
Yeah, that's very fortunate on the part of Stellenberg, because they could very well have lost the player for 10 minutes, if not more there, and that would have really changed the outlook of the rest of the game. But worst case scenario for them is not to concede the line. We'll see here, he's very lucky to just get the penalty against him. Stellenberg very fortunate. Having said that, it's thrown for Helpmekaar. You'll expect them to drive here. They've been a really dominant pack so far. They've got 2 pods. Let's see what the tactic is. Seems to be a set move.
Well, what looks to be a skew line out there from Helpmekaar. We don't see many mistakes from a team of Helpmekaar's caliber, and that might be what puts Stellenberg in the game today. Stellenberg need to make sure that they capitalize on the mistakes that this quality side that is Helpmekaar makes today. And it won't be many, will it, Bryce?
Yeah, Helpmekaar's coach Sean Jackson won't be happy with that. It's just let Helpmekaar off the hook. Obviously, being a short arm, it gives Helpmekaar another opportunity to launch her, albeit not from 5 meters out like they would have hoped. But let's just see, we've just seen from the halfback combination of Helpmekaar, they've got bullet passes, both of them, which allows their backs to play with some width. But again, losing the ball in the line out.
Yeah, another unforced error there from Helpmekaar, and Stellenberg at the ascendancy. They could make Helpmekaar pay for this as the number 9 Conradi gets it out to Peterson. Peterson looks to find a bit of grass, but unfortunately not so cleaned up by Helpmekaar. As we see a kick just above 22, the counter attack is on as we see Conradi swinging it out to Peterson. Peterson taking on the Helpmekaar line, and a lovely offload, but a gentle handling error there. Stellenberg not managing to get the ground that they would have wanted to. But good signs of counter attacking rugby here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think one of the benefits for a streaming service like Schoolboy Sports Live is not only for spectators at home, but also these teams. They would have been able to study each other. They probably would have watched each other at the Noordzee Festival not too long ago, and it's pretty clear if you look at Helpmekaar, their defense, their back 3, they're anticipating Nevon Peterson playing a territorial kicking game. They're sitting back and they're reading his kicks so far. It's keeping them in the game, and it's frustrating Helpmekaar as it stands. Still 0-0 with 5 minutes gone. Neither team gaining any sort of ascendancy. We're generally playing around the middle of the field.
Yeah, and I think that's mainly how these big games start with the 2 teams, as we see Kirkham getting out to his flyer, Buertes. Buertes gets it into the middle of the field. Veerman getting some good ground, making his way out towards the 22. Can they get some good recycle ball here? Kirkham quick to the ball. Good ball out to their number 11, Bezuidenhout. He doesn't manage to gain much ground, but they retain possession here. Kirkham gets the ball out. Now Helpmekaar make it in towards the 22. It'll be interesting to see what the tactic is here from Helpmekaar. Another handling error, but luckily for Helpmekaar, the advantage given by referee Magagula.
Yeah, penalty given for offsides, and you would think Helpmekaar, looks like they're going to go for the corner. I don't know if that's the best idea. It would have been good to get on the board, get some points for all the time they've spent in the Stellenberg 22. You want to come away with something. Having said that, they've backed their line out there. They backed their forward pack. Ricardo van der Merwe at hooker, Academy Week player, experienced player. You want to get his darts right.
As we see the big driving more here off the line out. Bit of confusion as to where the maul was, but really good defense here from Stellenberg, managing to bustle out the big Helpmekaar pack.
Yeah, you can see they're fired up by that. They see it as a win. The penalty there was to Helpmekaar. They backed themselves in the line out to go for a driving maul. It's been scuppered by Stellenberg. Now they've got a chance to secure this ball and clear their lines, get out of this danger zone.
As van der Merwe feeds it into the line out, unsuccessful as Conradi gets it all the way out. It's a big pass to the number 15, Joshua Juster. Juster doesn't manage to penetrate the 22, and a bit of turnover ball here. Stellenberg really defending well in their own 22. Another colossal hit being put in here by Stellenberg as they win the penalty for offside. A lot of offsides, just showing how eager both these teams are to defend and defend attackingly.
Absolutely, we'll see. Just players guilty of creeping up. I think it might have been the Tate prop there. The ball doesn't find touch from the penalty kick.
Yeah, interesting, and we see another massive hit there from the number 14, Masenganga. Helpmekaar will do their best to retain possession here. A little pick and drive around the fringes of the Stellenberg ruck. Helpmekaar maintaining position. As we see Boertes looking for a bit of ground. He doesn't get ground. There's no marked call. And a good clearance just to relieve a little bit of pressure from Stellenberg. Stellenberg really do look up to the task, but I must say at the moment, Helpmekaar College looking like they've got all the attacking options, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But one thing that they must, just be wary of, if you look at Stellenberg at their fullback Manuel, he's another player with Craven Week experience. And when you've played any sort of Craven Week rugby for Western Province, whether it be the A team or the Western Province 15 team, it shows tremendous quality. It's a really tough region to earn provincial representation.
Well, a difficult game up first here on the Thursday as we see a break around the fringes, but the defense has all the answers to this Helpmekaar attack. As we see quick ball being fired out, the Helpmekaar backline really does get ball out there. We see a little bit of off the ball action, but Helpmekaar carry on with the number 11, Bezuidenhout, always gaining ground. Some quick ball is the skipper, Boertes, offloads it to the number 12, Veerman. As Helpmekaar creep onto the 22, quick ball again around the fringes. We see a loose little offload there from the number 4, Captain Brink Marks. But Helpmekaar maintain possession. Boertes swings it out, and another unforced error there by Helpmekaar.
Yeah, Manny, look, we know that Helpmekaar are able to play with width. We know what a great pass Tian Boertes has, but we mentioned before the game that the handling conditions here, it's not your usual 2 p.m., 3 p.m. kickoff. It's very different. Obviously, players are looking up because there's strong rush defenses coming from both sides, but perhaps a better option just to play it through the hands, maybe a few pick and goes, maybe a few tight forwards running off the shoulder of the flower half, just something different. You can't play as if you were playing, on a dry patch in the middle of the day or in the afternoon.
Yeah, fantastic bit of coaching there, Bryce. You've got to change and you've got to adapt to the conditions, and that's exactly what this Helpmekaar team needs to do. They've got to make sure that they're accounting for a little bit of dew on the grass. They've got to make sure that they're accounting for the decrease in visibility, and of course the lighting being provided here, the unnatural light from the floodlights, as Helpmekaar with a devastating scrum. They get it out to Boertes. Boertes out to the number 12, Veerman. Veerman manages to get it out to their number 11, Bezuidenhout. Bezuidenhout unfortunately not making it to the try line, but the attack has been absolutely relentless from Helpmekaar, hasn't it, Bryce?
It has, but equally matched. But great turnover ball for Stellenberg. They're running it out of their own line. You can see how they back themselves. The scrum half there, Conarasi, has no intention of kicking it. Eventually cleared by Peterson. But again, this is not the area of the field that Stellenberg will want to be playing. Having said that, they've soaked up so much pressure. Helpmekaar have had them under the cosh for most of this game, and still no points on the board.
No, 100%. It's fantastic defending here. It's out and out defense from Stellenberg. But how long can they absorb this pressure? There's only so much water a sponge can take, as we see the 6th ball and a big driving maul will be brought on here. No more here, as we see a pick and drive around the fringes. Helpmekaar aren't scared of a little pick and drive. As we see a little pop pass there from the number 7, Scudder.
Yeah, right idea, just wrong execution, just missed time there by Sebastian Watney. He's someone who played fly off at Grand Coma Week last year, so he's someone who can obviously is good with his handling. He's not just a player on the wing with speed and perhaps a bit of a step and a turn of pace. So you want to get him more. You want to see him get more involved. Perhaps act as a second fly off, as he is here at the CSP, just standing to the right of the scrum. Giving the scrum off 2 options here. Is it going to be himself or is it going to be Boertes?
Yeah, just keeping Stellenberg on their toes here. Stellenberg also having to give the old split defense here, creating a little bit of space on either side. The last thing I'll tell you want to do is go into a 1v1 battle with this attack from Helpmekaar, and that's exactly what Helpmekaar are asking Stellenberg to do. Boertes looks like he's orchestrating play. I wouldn't be surprised if he's happy to take down Peterson with a massive up and under, straight into the floodlights. But it's a good grab there from the number 15, Joshua Jooste, as he gets smoked back by the Stellenberg defense. But retaining possession does Helpmekaar. Ball out to the number 14, Esther Hazen, as he manages to gain a little bit of ground here. Let's see what the Stellenberg counter-attack beholds with Peterson. Peterson being tackled in his own half. And a little break here from Stellenberg. Peterson somehow manages to get back on the ball though.
You can see almost a bit of desperation, even though it's so early in the game, by Stellenberg. They're throwing a lot of offload chicken wing passes, which is great when it comes off, but there's also massive danger of turnover ball, and that's what's happened here. It's just giving the ball back to Helpmekaar, albeit in their own territory.
Buertus on the ball. Buertus swings it out wide to the number 11, Bezuidenhout. Bezuidenhout looks to run with a massive fend. Can he get a second fend? Well defended there from Stellenberg, but Bezuidenhout has really looked good on attack, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's a man, he's short, he's stocky, he's hard to bring down, he's got a low sense of gravity. But again, we spoke about Stellenberg, how good they are over the ball. Great turnover. We'll see the fend coming here. But again, the second and third defender from Stellenberg getting over the ball so quickly. That's led by their number 6, their captain, Van der Westhuizen. He leads the charge. And they're lining up a kick that on the angles has got to be between 55, maybe 60 meters here.
Well, you spoke about Nevon Peterson playing a bit of Craven Week. Look at the size of this man's legs. I definitely back him to have the distance from this range. It's all a matter of, does he have the direction to slot the 3 points and get ahead as he looks to get the first points in this really well contested game. I mean, Bryce, there's not a lot of games I've seen that have had no points in them but have been this exciting.
Absolutely, and what this kick does is that if Peterson slots us, if he gets anywhere close, it's a warning almost to Helpmekaar to say, look, this is a man that anywhere in your own half or anywhere near your own half, there's potential to concede points here.
As Peterson lines it up, a good 55-meter kick, as Bryce has told us. Odds probably against him in these conditions, but this is what he's been training for all week. Goodness gracious. Just doesn't have the legs or the direction, but what a boot from this man. Helpmekaar will know at this stage that they cannot give away too many penalties in a kickable area for Peterson. As we see the counter-attack being launched here by Stellenberg. Stellenberg with the big up and under, using the lights to their advantage, but no advantage gained there. As we see some movement here, Bezuidenhout in the midst of the attack once again. And no advantage here for the little knock-on by Bezuidenhout. Helpmekaar looking absolutely threatening every time they get the ball.
They are, and if just the number of factors here all put together, if you look at the fact that it's difficult handling conditions, if we saw just how close Peterson came to slotting that, and you see how good Stellenberg are over the ball, makes me think that their tactic might be to not play with ball in hand, get into Helpmekaar's 22, try and enforce penalties, put pressure on them, win turnovers, and from there, just start ticking, get the scoreboard ticking over with 3 pointers.
As we see the scrum going back to Stellenberg here. Stellenberg will be looking to recycle this ball. Decent position from them. We've seen their backs moving once or twice, not as much as we have the Helpmekaar backs, but they'll be looking to use this opportunity, get into a good position, and ask their forwards to do some good work for them and try to get a well-executed team try from this position.
Yeah, Helpmekaar definitely getting the ascendancy at scrum time. You just want Stellenberg. They just want to get the ball in and out as quick as possible. Well,
the penalty there towards Stellenberg for illegal scrummage, just saying that you know, one of the props pulling down with his left shoulder, and there we go, exactly what we said. Peterson will be looking to punish any mistake Helpmekaar makes in a decent position.
Absolutely, and look, we're quite a long way into this first half. Still no points on the board. And it's still early days, but if Stellenberg had to go into the half with some sort of lead, or at least in touching distance of Helpmekaar, when Helpmekaar have been so dominant, psychologically it would be a massive blow to Helpmekaar, because they played all the rugby, they've showed all the attacking impetus, and Stellenberg just won't lie down.
Well, we saw Peterson from about 10 meters behind this point that he's at, probably the same angle, getting really close. If he's got anything like he did in the first kick, this should be an easy kick by his standards.
Yeah, and without putting the markers on him, he was incredibly accurate in the first kick, just a bit short in terms of the distance.
Goodness gracious me, look at that. He has absolutely smoked that over the poles to collect the first 3 points of this really well contested game. And this is emphasis to exactly what this game has to behold. As you see the Craven Week fly off over there, slotting a good 48-meter three-pointer.
And a lot for Helpmekaar to think of here. They've also got to play their territorial game. They just can't allow Peterson to get anywhere near a kicking range.
Big up and under drop kick there, making it all the way to the 22 with a bit of snow on it. As we see Peterson pumping it from 22 to 22, putting the Helpmekaar backs under pressure, or the 8th man rather, but we'll see the counter. He opts to kick it as the fullback from Helpmekaar. Really good catching here from both sides, and now we see the counter attack from Stellenberg.
Looks like it may be a few of the Helpmekaar players guilty of not retreating there. And it's just those little unforced errors that you just can't get away with in a game that's going to be this tight. And again, as we see another penalty being lined up by Peterson, whether he gets this or not, it's similar effect in terms of the psyche of Helpmekaar. They just know that they're getting punished, and perhaps they're getting a bit flustered here. They were completely dominant in the first quarter of this game. Things have shifted a bit, and even though Stellenberg haven't spent any time, or much time at least, in the 22 of Helpmekaar, there's potential for them to extend their lead here.
No, 100%. Any mistake made, Peterson is going to be jumping on it. He's going to look to get another 3 points and try and make it 6-0 here with 8 minutes left in the half. Let's see what the Craven Week Flyer has to offer. Well, unfortunately, doesn't quite get it. It's got the legs, just does not have the direction, and Helpmekaar will have it in their head that they cannot make too many mistakes, especially at the breakdown. Otherwise, there's a huge opportunity that they're going to get punished by those 3 points every time.
Absolutely, and again, it just gives them the opportunity to get the ball kicked back to them, ball straight back in possession with Stellenberg, a possession or territory game rather.
Wow, it's an absolute war here at St. John's College, the 24th annual. As we see Clinton van der Merwe just giving us Thursday night lights at St. John's College Festival. Big boys, thunderous rugby, hashtag SJC Rugby Festival. Good to see people interacting and watching from all over the world. This is a fantastic game to be a part of as we see the counter-attack here. Big hit there from the number 2, Ricardo van der Merwe. It takes 3 men to rustle him out.
Interesting that Nokia, the open side flanker, is throwing into the line out here.
Another penalty, and it does not take a rocket scientist to guess what Stellenberg are going to do here. Helpmekaar just cannot keep making these mistakes. They'll keep getting punished by referee Magagula as well as Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, I think for Helpmekaar, there needs to be a bit of a shift in tactics here. They've got some really large, explosive ball carriers in their pack. Perhaps just keep it tight. We've seen what sort of dominance they've had around the fringes and in the tight exchanges. You know, when you've got players like Zander Toy and Tyler Scudder, you know, really physically imposing boys, you know, you've got to bring them into the game, let them ball carry. They're going to get you over the advantage line more times than not. And for the Helpmekaar coaches, this has been an all too regular occurrence this half.
Well, this is the angle Nevon Peterson enjoys it from much further in than his first 3 kicks. So by his standard, should be, but isn't a 3-pointer. Once again, it's got the legs, but just doesn't have the direction. Bryce, you think a little bit of too much pressure being put on Nevon Peterson at the moment to try carry his team over the byline?
Yeah, I think possibly. I think that you know, they've got some exciting players, you know, especially in the back line, the outside backs. They're playing a territorial game, but you know, they've beaten some quality teams already this year, and it's not down to one player. They've got to bring the rest of their back line and also their back row into this game.
As we see a fantastic break here from Stellenberg. Can we get all the way into the 22? Yes, they do. They'll be looking to recycle and get some quick ball. Penalty to Helpmekaar College. What a fantastic opportunity that was for Stellenberg. But unfortunately, I think just got isolated and not releasing at ruck time.
Yeah, good turnover there by Helpmekaar, but just like we said, Stellenberg are not a one-man show. You know, we spoke about how prominent Peterson has been in this game, but they're a very good team from numbers 1 to 15, 1 to 23 in fact, and we want to see other players stepping up.
Well, there we had it. We just got a taste of what these outside backs from Stellenberg can do. They find the gaps through what is quite a tight-knit Helpmekaar side, and we really do want to see them coming into the game a little bit more and see a little bit more running rugby, don't we?
Absolutely.
Good quick ball as Helpmekaar look to get it out into the back line. You see Bezuidenhout fighting his way towards the 22. Good recycle ball as we see a good charge down there from the number 12 of Stellenberg. It's the vice captain Hardlow. Stellenberg now on the ball. Number 9, Conradi, looking to run it out, but unfortunately, fantastic tackle. Now they'll be looking to change defense into attack. Helpmekaar, and this is where they're most lethal, isn't it?
Absolutely. Let's see a few pick and goes, a few ball runners. Let's see what they're good at. They've got the penalty advantage here, by the looks of things. See a few of the big boys.
Well, it's a lovely ball, lovely carry there from the number 22, Adrian du Toit. Du Toit gaining a bit of ground as Helpmekaar winning another penalty. I think just being given the option as to where they would like the penalty here. And they've opted to take the second penalty just in front of goals. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a kick, and a kick it is. So the vice captain Tian Boertus will be looking to level the game, get it back to 3-3 here so that they can play their type of rugby and make sure Stellenberg do not kick them out the game.
Yeah, you get the feeling that early on this wasn't the tactic that they spoke about, but as soon as the penalty was awarded, you saw the Helpmekaar coaches make sure that these substitute ran onto the field with the tee as quickly as possible. They want that 3 points. They know that they deserve it, and once they've got a bit of parity with Stellenberg, they'll back themselves to dominate for the rest of this half.
And unfortunately, we see another miss here. You know, not much wind in the air. That was pretty straight. He had the legs on it, and I just think, you know, this whole game, both teams have been looking to run, and Stellenberg just changing the dynamic of the game a little bit here. And I think Helpmekaar may have been caught off guard a little bit, and Tian Boerts not really ready to kick for goals, as that was, as you said, was probably not the game plan from the get-go.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10 in practice, he's going to slot those. But we mentioned it's a tense game. There's not a breath of wind here. They're playing at altitude. It should be an easy kick.
As we hear the hooter for the last play, it's the number 15 from Helpmekaar. It's Jooste managing to gain some ground with the chip and chase. Penalty advantage going towards Helpmekaar. Helpmekaar swinging it down the line as they have all day. We see Tian Boerts bashing it up in the middle of the park. Kirkham gets the ball out. They're trying to get it all the way. Stellenberg using the line as that extra defender. It's Bezuidenhout fighting his way towards the 22 once again. Kirkham out to the number 6. We're seeing the forwards getting involved here. Number 6 in Nokia. Kirkham out to the number 8, Toy. They really are going to fight, but Stellenberg have answers for this attack. Kirkham out to Toy. Toy managing to get what isn't a training ground move, I'll tell you that much. Recycle ball on the cards here. Kirkham getting to the byline very quickly as we see a little left foot step. Gets to the prop forward under Hay. Good crash ball in the middle of the park. You can't help but think Helpmekaar have the momentum in the ascendancy as Kirkham looks to get a little dashing run on the inside of the byline. And somehow the ball's just squeezed out there. Good turnover. Once again, Stellenberg defending for their lives here and going into the half-time break 3-0 up. Bryce, what do you think about this half so far?
Well, it's almost strange to say that a game that's 3-0 can be that exciting. You know, it's been such a tight, tense affair. I think what we've seen is, so far, we've seen a battle of the 10s. In the second half, we want to see so much more. There's 30 really good players on the field. We want to see players coming into their own, maybe someone who we haven't seen touch the ball much, come into the game and maybe make a game-changing break, a chip and chase, something different.
Well, there you have it. It's the half-time break. Helpmekaar College, which might have been the favourites going into this game, 0. Stellenberg High School from Bellville, 3. It's been an exciting first half, and we look forward to seeing you in the second half.
Evolve with the next generation Galaxy on SA's best mobile network. Get the new Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus for only $899 per month on a 24-month MTN Made For Me S contract. You get 20 gigs free data plus 2 gigs every month for 12 months. We got you. Sign up for upgrade at an MTN store today. Everywhere you go, MTN.
I'm Kagiso Rabada. This is the Standard Bank Forex Speed Track Challenge.
Standard Bank has asked the Proteas to help them demonstrate the incredible speed of the Shift Forex trading app.
Our customers are shopping on their phones, they're booking their travel on their phones. It made absolute sense to bring foreign exchange to their phones.
Kagiso will step onto the pressure sensor at the crease. This will trigger the trade on the Standard Bank Shift app. May the fastest win.
It's confirmed. The Standard Bank Shift app lets you trade at speeds equal to that of South Africa's fastest bowlers. Because Standard Bank knows when it comes to Forex, time isn't money, speed is. Download Shift from the App Store and start trading right now.
Why choose supersonic fiber? Life is complicated, but getting fiber shouldn't be. Supersonic fiber is the simplest connection you will ever make. Signing up is easy. Our 5-step application process is not only free, but will also give you the exact speed required to ensure your family can browse, stream, game, and work with ease. Essentially, it's Internet U.0, designed around you and aimed at making your fiber experience hassle-free. Our on-site stream team will install your free Wi-Fi enabled router and connect all your devices to ensure that you are 100% up and running. They will also conduct a free Wi-Fi coverage assessment before leaving your home to ensure that your home has 100% coverage. The Supersonic app provides you with full control so that you can manage your account and create a package that suits you, giving you the freedom and control to upgrade or downgrade as and when you want. Our smart Wi-Fi app, powered by Plume, offers you 100% control of your Wi-Fi ecosystem. Kids spending too much time online? Limit their access. Granny needs to get on Facebook? Give her instant access. We give you total control of your entire home from anywhere and at any time of the day in the palm of your hand. All with no contracts, no nonsense, just internet. Go ahead, sign up today. It's the simplest, smartest connection you will ever make. Visit supersonic.co.za.
Well, it's been a fantastic day of rugby, and you don't normally hear this in schoolboy rugby. A fantastic evening of rugby so far. The score doesn't represent it, but if you've been watching, you'll know how tense this game is. Once again, I'm Manny Sakhale, and with me in the comm box, I've got Bryce Force. Bryce, fantastic first half of rugby we've had here.
It was, and you mentioned some things we don't normally see, and don't normally see a 3-0 halftime score in schoolboy rugby. It's normally, open and expansive. This game's been really tense. As we've said before, it's a battle of the flower halves. Let's see more from a few other players staking their claim.
As we see Peterson bombing one into the atmosphere here, it'll be a good take, which it is from the number 4 captain Brink Marks, but Stellenberg on the ascendancy as they get the more rolling on defense. Quick ball is the order of the day from the substitute there, Sebastian Watney. And there's been some really good handling here as we see Stellenberg launching the counter-attack, managing to get about 30 meters on attack, but a slight little error as Stellenberg knock it on the Helpmekaar 22.
Yeah, a bit of a knock on an error there, but again, number 14 for Stellenberg, right wing Msengana. I think that's perhaps the second touch of the game. And he's such a powerful runner, so difficult to bring down. You really want to see him brought into the game more. He's a difficult man to deal with, and this is the type of thing that we spoke about for Stellenberg. They've got this exciting backline, and they've got a forward pack who's perhaps not the biggest, but they like to compete. They compete over the ball well, and this is the area of the field that they'll want to play. They'll want to be putting pressure on the Helpmekaar reserve scrum half here. He's obviously a player who would have been sitting on the sidelines, nervously waiting his chance. They've got to put pressure on him, and a wily customer like Conradi will expect him to do that, and they've done that.
An unbelievable scrum there. Unfortunately, the Stellenberg forwards at scrum time just not quite competing against the Helpmekaar scrum halves, but a penalty given to Helpmekaar for offsides. Mr. Magagula, or should I say referee Magagula, just getting Helpmekaar out of a bit of trouble. As we see Vice Captain Tian Boert smoking that into the viewing area. Unfortunately not getting the ground he would have liked, but happily out of his own 22. Helpmekaar can look to launch some kind of attack from this position.
Yeah, and we saw in the first half Ruan Nokia throwing the ball into the line out. There was a bit of disorganization. It looks like they've started to find their jumpers there, getting the rolling ball on, getting players going with the pick and go. Perhaps they have him throw again is because Ricardo van der Merwe is such a strong ball carrier after the line out.
Well, an interesting little obstruction by his own man there. He gets a little pop pass off to Frans Weerman. But a great steal here from Stellenberg. Once again, coming out like they started off, defending for their lines. Can they turn defense into attack? Peterson looks to find a bit of grass, and I'll tell you what he has as the Craven weak flyer. Unfortunately, the bounce not in his favor going out, but Helpmekaar will look to launch the attack as we see a chip and chase straight to the Stellenberg defense.
Yeah, the chase wasn't what you would have expected from Stellenberg in the first half. They really chased those kicks hard. This time they didn't, but they've got the ball, so it's a good net result for them. They've got possession. They've got Helpmekaar under the ropes here. Helpmekaar, perhaps a few players guilty of staying in offside position, and maybe a player in trouble there from Helpmekaar.
Well, it will be interesting to see how this is dealt with senior referee Magagula. I don't know whether he's going to look to go to his pocket. It really did look accidental. Dangerous still, but no malicious intent there, I would like to think.
Yeah, and if you're looking for consistency at a very similar area, early in the first half we saw a similar type of tip tackle that we expected perhaps a card to be shown. He didn't show a card. maybe they're getting off the fact that the Stellenberg player didn't land on his head or his shoulders, just let him off the hook. So not the greatest result for Helpmekaar in terms of conceding good attacking ball, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, look, I also just think in that attack we see the Stellenberg player jumping into what was a low legal tackle, and that may have just exasperated the tackle there. So no malicious intent as we see Stellenberg getting into the Helpmekaar 22. Helpmekaar have defended really well in this area as we see Conradi getting the crash ball out, but handling error, going backwards, another handling error, going backwards. It's Peterson. Can Peterson get some kind of an offload? No, he doesn't. Stellenberg will need to secure the ball here. Can Conradi get there in time? He does. Conradi gets distribution out to his forwards. Helpmekaar are going to have to defend for their lives. Just outside their 5 meter, Conradi out to the number 12, Vice Captain Hadlow. Well, the Helpmekaar defense just keeping Stellenberg at bay. Stellenberg are going to need some X factor as they look to go forward here against this good forward pack. Conradi directing a bit of traffic. He wants to keep it on the blind side just to open up the space on the open side. Interesting to see what they're going to do now. They keep it on the blind side. Conradi still on the ground. There he is now. Conradi will look to get ball out, keeping it nice and tight with some big hits from the forwards. Stellenberg getting some go forward ball. Conradi at it again. Some big hits being put in here at the 5 meter line.
They're going top. They've got numbers on the right, so they've got the overlap if they could get it out, but they've conceded the penalty. It's a massive, massive penalty to concede. They had massive overlap on the right-hand side. If they just managed to get the ball through their hands, it's almost guaranteed try in the right-hand corner.
Yeah, as we see the substitute, Sebastian Whitney just giving high fives all around. That was an absolute showcase of defensive rugby being shown there by Helpmekaar with a monster of a 50-meter kick to get them out of trouble. Bryce, I haven't seen a defensive effort like that in ages.
Yeah, it's a massive psychological blow to Stellenberg there. They were so close, they'd worked so hard, and they'd been so disciplined for so long, just conceding the penalty when it mattered most. And for Helpmekaar, it'd be interesting to see what their tactic is here.
As we see the open side flanker Ruan Nokia with the put-in, not something we see every day. 23 Whitney will be directing traffic. A penalty advantage being given to Helpmekaar. What can Helpmekaar do? We saw an attack by Stellenberg from right to left. Helpmekaar will be looking to put the pressure on. Will be interesting to see whether they look for points or whether they look to get nice and deep in the Stellenberg half.
Yeah, Helpmekaar certainly have a bit of momentum behind them. I think Butchers is deciding what to do here. He certainly is a player who we think has the distance. But again, it's something that the players can feel. They can feel when they're getting the momentum, when they're getting the better of the opposition. I think one thing we saw there, the penalty was conceded because Stellenberg are giving away unnecessary penalties through ill discipline, maybe a bit of frustration, and that's when a team can feel that they've got the opposition on the ropes.
Well, as we see one of the Stellenberg supporters there, he'll be thinking about his heyday back in Bellville when he was out on that field supporting his boys. Fantastic to see a bit of a travelling crowd here for the Stellenberg boys. They'll be feeling a little bit homesick, 1,400 kilometers away from home. The Helpmekaar support will be here in their numbers as they school just down the road. How much of a psychological advantage is it for Stellenberg coming all the way up here and playing in these conditions?
Yeah, I think it's, when you're a schoolboy, some of the best memories are when you're on tour, you're able to go to a different part of the country. For some of the parents and the old boys, particularly the old boys, perhaps they're working in Joburg or studying up here. It's a chance to catch up with old friends or support their schools, and it means a lot to the boys, when they can perform in front of old boys as well. Maybe, when they're at grade 8s and grade 9s, and some of their heroes in matric are now watching them, so it certainly has to lift efforts there.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, as we see Helpmekaar making it into the 22. Helpmekaar have been here so many times. This will be only the second clean sheet we see of the day if Stellenberg can maintain this fantastic defense. Both teams defensively sound against what is not what you would call weak attacks.
Absolutely. Interesting there, Ricardo van der Merwe took the throw in the actual hooker. And it seems like they're interchanging between Van der Merwe and Nokia. So you're not really sure for the reasoning there. I'm sure they've got set pieces, but it's just not allowing any sort of cohesion between the throwers and the line-out jumpers. You're seeing a lot of balls, probably mistimed jumps, mistimed throws. And it's just the effect of that. It's given the ball back to Stellenberg. It's let them off the hook. They'll be able to clear their lines here. They've got the ability, to run the ball through their hands, which I'd like to see them do. But having said that, when you've got to fly off with the boot of Peterson, he's possibly going to clear his lines. But again, ill-discipline there from Stellenberg. Like we said earlier on, they've conceded a few penalties, a few free kicks in the last few minutes. And this is when Helpmekaar really have to strike.
Yeah, well, Helpmekaar going back to their game plan, albeit a free kick, I think they'll be looking to really bustle the ball up, as we see number 23, Watney, number 5, Slubbert bangs it into the 22 there. They'll be looking to get some quick ball. Watney gets it out to number 4, Captain Brinks, and a turnover. We see a little double knock on there. Well, the game's starting to get a little bit sloppy. Bryce, what do you think it is? A bit of fatigue, a bit of nerves? What's happening through these players' heads at the moment?
Fatigues, nerves, frustration. It's getting, obviously, as we get deeper into the evening, get a bit more difficult to handle the ball. Frustration at the scoreline. No one's scored yet. Whenever a team feels like they've got some sort of ascendancy, and they seem to be knocking the ball on at a critical time, maybe a chance for the coaching staff to bring on some reserves. It's quite a attritional festival. You've essentially got 3 games in something like 5 days. It's not something you're used to. Normally used to 1 game in a week. So I think a squad effort is going to win it here. So I think coaches really have to trust their bench and bring some players on, bring some finishers, impact players.
Yeah, as we do see the 2 Helpmekaar coaches there, Jackson and Kutsia, just orchestrating their brilliance at the moment. There's a saying in sport, defend to win, and I think both these teams trying to make sure that they don't concede any more tries, they don't concede any penalties, and they happen to try get something on the break. It's impossible to lose a game without conceding a point, and I think that's what Stellenberg are looking to do at the moment. Peterson bashes it out, finds a bit of grass, giving the chase up some time. We see some tired legs, but coming up as a unit. Helpmekaar off the right, off the left. He gets stuck into a double tackle. Will he be isolated at ruck time? No, he doesn't. Good, secure, recyclable ball from Kollege. Kollege looking to run it into the boys from Bellville. But the boys from Bellville up to the task. Look at that. Not gaining too much ground, a meter or 2 on defense, and they'll be looking to keep the pressure. Bit of an overlap starting to arise on the left-hand side. Can Helpmekaar use it though? A little show and go in the pop pass, being offloaded to the number 13 there. Van der Spey gaining big ground. Helpmekaar in the ascendancy with the momentum. Do they have numbers on the right-hand side? Fantastic little pop. The skill is unbelievable, and we just see another unforced error, but no advantage for the Helpmekaar side as they get the penalty from senior referee Magagula.
Yeah, Stellenberg feeling the pressure here. The penalties they're conceding is just a matter of pressure build-up, feeling the pressure and trying to counteract that. Straight in front of the post would have, you would assume, have been an easy 3 points. But again, we speak about momentum, we speak about having the opposition under the caution. That's exactly what Helpmekaar can feel. They've got a good record here. They were undefeated last year. Essentially, like you said, that their hometown, side on this occasion. So for them to go level is psychologically perhaps not what they're looking for. They want to get in the lead and stay in the lead.
Well, we see the big driving maul here. We see the lush grass in front of us there. The big driving maul carrying on here. Can Helpmekaar get the first try of the game? Advantage here for the Helpmekaar side. What will they do with it? Watney gets it out to Poeters out to Veerman loses the ball, but he loses it backwards. It's a big drive here from Van der Spey. and held up. Fantastic defense once again from Stellenberg. I think referee Magagula taking them back from the penalty advantage from the maul. As we see Boertus looming over the ball, but he'll leave the dirty work up to the forwards. Yeah, I think a little crash ball to suck in the Stellenberg forwards is the order of the day, and they'll probably be looking to take Stellenberg on in a 1v1 battle.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Scudder and the Toy, the 7-8 combination, get involved. Yeah, they're such strong ball carriers. It looks like a set move here. Stellenberg not really sure how to defend this. Look like they're trying to rumble over Helpmekaar.
Wow, big defense here. Referee Magagula in a fantastic position. Try time to Helpmekaar College, and it's all that pressure. It's 45 minutes of pressure. 45 minutes to get our first try of the day, and it's a well-constructed a well-constructed try within the forward pack. Fantastic work, fantastic patience from the Helpmekaar boys.
Yeah, it looks like Brink Marks, the captain's gone over there. And really, like we said, this is the strength of Helpmekaar. It's been their strength for the whole game. Around them, they've got a really strong tight five. They've got really strong ball carriers. We know how talented their backline are, but that's where they really get the better of Stellenberg. As we see here, just around the fringes, some really, really stoked defense from Stellenberg. But you just felt it was a matter of time before Helpmekaar got over the whitewash. And the pick and goes. It's just bound to happen eventually, that the dam wall would break. We'll see the conversion attempt just going to the right there. So it's still a 2-point game. Stellenberg are still well within this. We know that a penalty will take them to the lead. We know that a penalty within anywhere close to 60 meters out is potential for Stellenberg. So for them, it's a case of, let's not panic. We've conceded a try. We're still well within this game. Let's just keep the ball in hand some more. Not trying anything too fancy, but let's get some of those backline players involved.
As we see Peterson with the massive up and under from the start, we see a bit of counter-attacking rugby here from the number 15, Joshua Juster. They'll look to get it out of their own 22s. Tian Boertus looking to find some grass as we see a number 10 to number 10. As Nivan Peterson gets the ball coming back with snow on it. Juster, bit of a ping-pong game here. Juster manages to find a bit of grass in and behind. Stellenberg's number 23 also finding some grass, but in the wrong way is Jean-Jacques van Skalkwijk. Now we see the counter-attack. This is where Helpies have been so good. We see the inside cut. The big number 8 making good move here. Sander de Toy. And a great little offload to their number 14, Devon Esthuizen. Oh. And yet another unforced error here from Helpmekaar. Helpmekaar really need to bury this game because Stellenberg is no joke. They're no team to be played with. Stellenberg have to be punished for making errors like that. And Helpmekaar at the moment just not quite punishing them enough on the outsides.
Absolutely. And it looks like in back play, got a couple of players down, and critical players for both teams. But what we have seen is Stellenberg have started to ring the changes. Number 16, Jaco Farik coming on. You would assume that he's the hooker, so big pressure for him in terms of the first action being a critical throw-in.
Yeah, as we have a little gander here, you see the inside tuck here. We see number 8 going through Sander de Toy. Ball bobbles up. Good collection there from number 14, Esthuizen. And Helpmekaar looking so good. Look at the quick ball. They always look to get ball out fast. Don't allow the opposition to set up. And I think that's been one of their strengths throughout the game. But Stellenberg dealing with it like a champion side.
Yeah, Brink Marks, the captain of Helpmekaar, taking a knock to their head. They've taken him right off. Perhaps just to have a bit of an assessment of their injury. Anything around their head these days, you want to have a close look at it. But Helpmekaar is definitely a team that's got some depth, so they'll back their replacements coming on the field.
Yeah, and a punishable mistake here by Helpmekaar. Stellenberg getting the put in but not managing to retain possession. In their 22 they go. Helpmekaar's number 9 Kirkman will be looking for quick ball, which he manages to get. Number 7 wiggles his way out to Scudder. There's your man you were talking about a little bit earlier. Quick ball here from Kirkman. Kirkman gets it out to the number 8, to Toy. What can they get here? Kirkman with quick ball. This is how they scored their first try, keeping it nice and tight within their forwards, and they haven't veered off. It's the big prop who gets the good fend off here, but Stellenberg stay in. They're looking to rip the ball out of the number 3's hand under Hay. Kirkman on the ball, once again keeping it tight, and there it goes. Now they look to take the numbers on. Unforced error and a little knock on. That really should have been a punishable mistake. 2v1 on the outside left hand side. Helpmekaar have to do better there, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something you've got to mention, for players of this age from Stellenberg that wouldn't have played a lot of rugby at altitude. Perhaps the conditions, something that I'm not used to, perhaps sucking air, but Helpmekaar are used to this every day. For Helpmekaar, you would think that they're perhaps, because of the conditions, could be the slightly fitter team at this stage of the game. So they would really want to run Stellenberg off their feet. And these type of passes, you're just guilty of putting your head up. You've just got to take those.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, it's try just outside the post from the number 8, Zander du Toit. Stellenberg being caught off guard here by this mighty Helpmekaar forward pack, and just a little bit of a lapse in concentration. Zander du Toit making them pay. Bryce, it's been a fantastic application of pressure, but fantastic defense from Stellenberg, and just keep it taking their eye off the prize there, don't they?
Yeah, as we see, it's set move, and this is what Helpmekaar do. This is what they're good at. It's good to see them playing to their strengths. They've sucked in all the defenders with a set move. It gives under the toy a bit of an outside gap, a mismatch against the scrum half. There's only going to be one winner there.
Yeah, well, look at that. It's a training ground move. 7 men basically acting as screens, and they just unleash the one man in behind those screens, like you say, to take the number 9 on. And in a number 8 versus number 9 battle, we know who's going to win that every single time.
Absolutely. Now you're going towards the latter stages of the game here. Helpmekaar building up a 7-point lead. It's going to take a converted try just to level proceedings for Stellenberg. It might look like a long way off for them as it stands now. They've played most of this half by their own try line mostly, so they've really got to put pressure on, and that's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, well, Stellenberg would like to make use of those kind of mistakes, but those kind of mistakes not seeming costly, as we see Boetus looking for a bit of grass. Here we go, number 23 from Skalkbeek. He steps inside, outside, gets back up. He's beaten 3. Can he beat 4? Yes, he does. Can he beat 5? Unfortunately, doesn't manage to beat the cross-cover tackle, and we see a little knock-on straight into the Helpmekaar hands. Great opportunity there. Unfortunately, a mistake being made allows Helpmekaar to breathe. But here we go. Another count, and the ball bounces in no man's land.
Yeah, getting lost in the night sky there. No one really wanted to claim it, or no one was sure who was going to claim it. But again, those sort of breaks there, by Stellenberg, that's where you need in a moment of brilliance. As we see here, how many defenders beaten? Just count them.
1. Up. 2. Past him. 3. Watch this, 4, but some lovely cross-cover defending there by the man that he had just beaten. It's the number 13 from Helpmekaar, Van der Spey, making a lethal tackle there in the 22.
Yeah, that was the time to strike, and Stellenberg have the ball back, but they've got it just past the 10-meter line of Helpmekaar. They have to win this line out.
Well, an advantage being given here by senior referee Magagula for the sacking in the air of one of the Stellenberg locks. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think they're going to look to gain some territory. They really have looked unbelievably dangerous. Can they get the converted try from this great position for them? Bryce, what do you think's the order of the day? Do they look to get a big driving maul, or do they take Helpmekaar in a 1v1 battle in the midfield?
I think they've got to go to the midfield, simply because Helpmekaar have been so strong up front in the tight exchanges. Get the ball out. You've got exciting backline players, not just your fly half. Get it to those exciting outside backs. You've got a 14-15 combination. You're really strong, but that's not how you do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, a fantastic challenge in the air there from Helpmekaar. As Helpmekaar, do they get bustled out? Linesman says no. Ball still in play, but there it is. just bustled out there. Just bustled out there by Helpmekaar, as we see a discussion there about what's happening for dinner later tonight. Yeah, so seemingly, what's the call there? Penalty advantage. Yeah, to Helpmekaar.
There's a player down. I think the touch judge and the ref just consulting to see what the decision is. It's critical here for Stellenberg to score and to score soon while they're in this part of the field. They haven't spent much of the second half here. They've spent most of the second half in their own territory. When they've got a few set pieces, they've just let the ball go through their hands. Some unforced errors or some bit of mishandling at critical junctures. Helpmekaar really fired up for this one. They've got some support. They've got some schoolboys, some old boys, some parents who've travelled from down the road supporting them. And for Stellenberg, they're struggling with a few injuries here.
Well, unfortunately, you don't go to war, and come back with a full squadron. A few casualties along the way, and that's what's happening right now with Stellenberg. It's like going to war playing rugby against Helpmekaar. Helpmekaar will look to retain possession. No challenge from Stellenberg. They get straight into maul time, and as it turns out, it works. Ball at the back of the maul. Use it once is the call from senior ref Magagula. They're going to look to get a better position to either kick it from, or they're going to be looking to run the ball out from their 22. And better position to kick it from is the order of the day. Do they find touch? What a kick that is.
Yeah, it's a good kick, and you can see that what a well-coached team Helpmekaar on, and how calm they are, because when they play, there's a plan, and they're planning a few phases ahead. They know exactly what they're going to do. They take it up to the middle of the field just to make the angle a lot better for the kick, and as a result, the clearance is a good one.
Stellenberg not in the worst position in the world. They'll be looking to run the ball up, but first they must retain possession, which they do. 6 ball, I'm not sure if that was a training ground move or it was just a really good plan B. Penalty given to Stellenberg for playing the ball on the ground. Stellenberg will probably be looking to gain a little bit of territory and really play from higher up the field, will they here?
Yeah, I think perhaps if they were in a bit further into Helpmekaar territory, they might have been tempted to go for the 3 points to make it less than a score, the deficit, but far out. The penalty wasn't a guaranteed 3 points, and given the angle, that's a very good kick. But again, they've got to secure this ball. They haven't been able to secure a lot of their line-out ball. They have to do that. If they don't do that, you've just got to think it might be the last effort for them. There's a bit of time to play, but psychologically they can't carry on conceding good ball.
Yeah, Marcus Fransman who'll be throwing it in here. Can he get secure ball? No. Helpmekaar College challenging for the ball at Stellenberg's very own penalty line out, and they get another penalty.
Yeah, for me, I'd be tempted to go for the 3 here. If you get it to 10-6, then you back yourself to go for the score in the latter stages of the game.
Well, interesting to see if they're going to take your advice here. Ball goes down. It's that man, Conradi. He's had a really good game, a little bit more quiet in the last 10 minutes. Conradi pops it up to his forwards. Can they get there in a good position to split the defense? Pretty obviously going right at the moment with a big hit in the center of the park. Reinforcements have been called in on the right-hand side. Conradi gets a little pop in and around the corner. There's the hooter for the final play of the game. Stellenberg have to score in this very play. It's a penalty from senior ref Magagula. Can Stellenberg get through? No, they can't. On the 5 meter, we've seen Helpmekaar defending in this situation before, haven't we, Bryce?
Yeah, they've got the penalty advantage. They've got to score here. They've got to use it. Again, when you've got the penalty advantage, it's almost like a free hit. You've got to score. Now they know any sort of handling error and the game's done. Hands all over the ball there from Helpmekaar. It'd be interesting to see the ref's decision. They've probably won the turnover, but he's spotted it.
There it goes out to Peterson. Does Peterson get the grounding? It's going to be interesting to see what the call is here from referee Magagula. The Stellenberg boys are celebrating. There's no scrum being set up here. Peterson, the craven weak man, he takes this game and puts it on its head. Fantastic work here from the Stellenberg flyer from Bellville.
Yeah, we We mentioned what a key player is. He's taken everything on his shoulders. He's taken the dot. It looks like he's got the try, but now he set himself up for a real pressure kick to level proceedings, to get a draw here. Helpmekaar, we saw them earlier this year. They've got the draw against Paul Boys with a kick under pressure that was slotted from the halfway line, if I remember correctly. But here, for Peterson, lining up a kick. Again, we mentioned 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100. He probably would slot these in practice, but this is massive pressure. It'll be a big result for Stellenberg, known as a bit of the giant killers of the Western Cape. And for them, even a draw here would be a fantastic result, given the ascendancy of Helpmekaar in the second half.
Yeah, fantastic work there as we saw the replay from Nivan Peterson. He puts the goose step in off that strong right leg. He'll be sizing this up. He'll look to hit this into the VIP area. Hopefully the direction is there. Nivan Peterson, unfortunately, slides it in a big pressure situation to the right, but he has been absolutely fantastic. He's kept Stellenberg in this game as long as they have been. He by far has to be my standout player in blue, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. You talk about BMT, perhaps he just lifted his head there. It was a massive charge there, by Helpmekaar. But again, for Stellenberg, they had many opportunities. What coaches would say is we shouldn't have left it up to the last minute. It shouldn't have been decided, on a final kick of the game. We had every chance to win that game. In the end, they didn't take their chances. Helpmekaar did. Perhaps deserved the results. Perhaps deserved the win a little bit more than Stellenberg.
Well, there you have it, a fantastic day and, dare I say it, a fantastic evening of rugby as we see Helpmekaar College, the side from Johannesburg, winning 10-8 against Stellenberg, the side from Buville. My name's Manny Sakhali, and with me in the commentary box, I had Bryce Voss. Bryce, it's been an absolute pleasure calling this unbelievable game with you today.
Absolutely great game, Manny, and 2 more days of this, many more games to come.
Fantastic.